Hi everyone, I hope this video finds you well. So Greg, who is Mr. Stripey, had asked what kind of jobs we've had. Now, I've had a ton from here to there, but here are the ones that I actually remember. When I was about 11 years old, I had a lady that lived across the street, and I was actually good friends with her daughter. Well, she had about 10 horses, and she convinced me that it'd be a great idea to have extra cash if I would shovel her horses' manure. So what I did was I ran home and I said, "Mom, can I work for her 2 hours a day, 7 days a week for $10 a week?" Yeah, my mom actually agreed. Now, I know I've told you this story, but when I was little, I worked at Shakey's Pizza. When I was little, my mom wouldn't let me stay home alone, so she would bring me to work. But instead of going inside an air-conditioned and a heated building, I had to sit outside in the van until one day they were so busy and they were short-handed. So they invited me in and told me to get to work. Well, the boss was supposed to pay me, but I never seen a dime of it. So, child labor at Shakey's Pizza. But it was the best job I've ever had, except for my present. Me and my friends decided to slough from school one day, so we went down to the local expo. Now, the expo was showing, featuring the new stuff that was out and about. Well, when we went down there, we walked by this guy who was saying that he needed somebody to work part-time at his booth. Well, I walked up to him after he had his phone call, and I said, "I'm available if you want." Well, lo and behold, I was a Care Bear. And I actually worked 5 different functions for him. We went outside of a dealership at one point. A couple months later, I worked at another expo, and then I worked that expo. And then we did a grand opening at one point. And then I think I did a birthday party or something. Maybe it was a bar mitzvah. Who knows? Anyways, yeah, I was a Care Bear. Then I worked at Shopko. It was a graveyard job, and it wasn't bad. All we had to do is stock the shelves. But the problem is I didn't have it right up there, and it was across the town. So, yeah, having to wait for my sister every day sucked. Then I worked at Arctic Circle. It's kind of like a McDonald's or a Burger King. Just don't wash anything for 10 years, and there's an Arctic Circle. Then I worked at Holiday Oil as a gas station attendant during graveyard shifts. Well, it wasn't so bad, but the guy that ran it, the manager, was a little crazy. He always thought I had a twin, and I always had to smile for him before I started my shift because I was the twin that didn't have a chipped tooth. Then I worked as a receptionist at several different places, but my latest was Western Country Crust. Now, it was a pie manufacturing facility, and I really didn't mind the job, but I was told never ever show up by myself. Why? Because I was an 18-year-old, very skinny, with big boobs and 450 Spanish guys in the back. I was fresh meat. Then I was a security guard. That's right, I was a security guard. Well, one night we were watching this facility that was eventually going to be a Home Depot or a Lowe's. Well, what happened was these kids decided to try to scare us. Well, we jumped in a car and we chased them down, we pulled them over, and lo and behold, it was my best friends, Tommy and Frank. Well, luckily they did the good thing and said, "No, we don't know her." Well, 2 days later, I kind of got a nail in my foot, so I had to go to the hospital. My boss was there, and I had to call somebody to come pick me up. Tommy and Frank showed up. I was fired from that job. While I was going to culinary school, I decided to go get a part-time job at a restaurant, so I went and applied, and the best job that they would give me is waitress. Well, after I graduated and I became a head chef there, I decided I better come back home. So when I came back home, I actually applied for a job at Mr. Z's, which is a restaurant down here in downtown Salt Lake. It was an Italian restaurant, and he was just barely revamping his menu. So with my help, we completely redid the whole entire menu. It was a great job, except for 4 years later, he had a heart attack. And with no kids to give the family corporation to, the job was gone. Now, currently, I work at Delta Airlines. I've worked here for 18 years, and I absolutely love my job. There's nothing better in the world to just jump on an airplane and just travel for free. So, What's your story? What is your jobs you've ever had? And if you'd like to do a video response, that'd be awesome. Add it to this or make a comment down below. And as always, I will see you the day after tomorrow's yesterday. Good night.